right, ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Welcome back to the Blood Prison Shakedown. I am here with Dakota Ward from 7 Gates Screampark up in Niagara Falls. How you doing, man?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Happy to be here.
Yeah, how was your drive down?
It's pretty good. Only 3 hours, but I think it actually adds an hour. We stopped in Cleveland first, and it was great. Beautiful drive.
Stopped up in Cleveland, huh?
Yeah.
Tell us what you did.
Yeah.
Tell us what you did.
I got a tour of Nightmare Cleveland.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Freaking awesome place. And then we got a tour of the, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name right now. Chippewa Lake Slaughterhouse.
Chippewa Lake, yep.
That was super awesome. Great tour. Welcoming, host to show us around. It was awesome. Super great. Yeah.
Hell yeah. No, Nightmare Cleveland's kind of the new kid on the block.
Yeah.
But they came out with a vengeance.
Yeah.
And then Chippewa's been around for a while, and I love them like us because their building is so cool, and the way you go to it like during the season is just it's great.
Super cool. It's like wrong turn.
Yes, absolutely.
You pull off the highway and you're like, oh, where is this place? And there's no sign.
Yeah.
There's just the one road to it, and you're like, oh, we're here.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
The Carver family is what they have up there.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's their big characters. The Mama Carver. She actually comes down and guest acts with us.
Oh wow. Yeah.
That's Eve, right? Yeah, she comes down and guest acts with us during incarceration. Great girl.
Yeah.
Love those guys, Vaughn and Gavin, who you talked to. Yeah. Brian Dembski's up there, good friend of ours, and Drake.
Yeah.
Great guys up there at Nightmare in Chippewa Lake. Glad you got to see it, man.
It was super awesome. Super awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely a lot of inspiration.
Oh yeah.
Definitely some techniques and stuff that you can learn from them, and super cool stuff.
So so you said Buffalo was like a 3-hour drive from here?
I would say Mansfield 4, because I was kind of mixing it up with like Cleveland.
I mean, you're in Niagara Falls, though, not necessarily Buffalo, though, right?
Yeah, I live in Buffalo, because Niagara Falls is really like 20 minutes from my house.
Okay.
So it's not that far from Buffalo.
Yeah.
But yeah, about 3 hours to Cleveland, so 4 hours here. But yeah, we're not that. Like I said, we're in Niagara Falls, the haunted house. But about I would say a mile or a couple miles from Niagara Falls.
I did this to the guys from the Portals of Fear.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do it to you. Why are the bills so horrible?
Yeah, they are.
What the hell's going on up there?
I know. What's
going on with the they can get there, they just can't, what's going on?
I do not know. I am definitely a keyboard GM,
you go.
I'm the one yelling at, the whole draft and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, I'm a huge season ticket holder.
Oh, really? Okay, so I might have struck a chord there.
Yeah. I've seen them lose a lot. But
remember the 90s? Remember that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I do.
Remember the Cowboys?
Oh, yeah. I'm getting stabbed in the heart right now.
This dude's over here just like, God damn it.
No, but definitely, it's awesome. Buffalo's great. Definitely recommend anyone going through there.
Sure.
It's awesome.
What about Niagara Falls?
Niagara Falls, it's definitely, it's okay. It's great. I love Niagara Falls. I really do, because, they've definitely welcomed us with open arms, as a haunted attraction. It's never been anything there, so we kind of went in there and did it, and they love us being there. But Niagara Falls itself, I don't know if I would go there as a tourist on the U.S. side as much. Yeah. But definitely Canada, super cool, different view of it.
Okay, so totally not related to haunted house or horrors or anything. Niagara Falls. So you got Niagara Falls, U.S. Now, how the hell does that work? Yeah, Niagara. You know what I'm saying? It's the same name, two different places though. Technically, yes.
Yeah. So basically, there's 2 bridges. I'm pretty sure. Well, there's 3. I think there's one in Lewiston, there's one in Niagara Falls, one in Buffalo. But yeah, they're literally the same. So every phone call I get, they go, "Are you in Canada or are you on the U.S. side?" And
that's got to be annoying as shit.
Yeah, it's all the time, because we definitely get ads over in Canada. You can't not do it, right?
Yeah.
So, but we don't really get Canadians though. That's like the biggest, weirdest thing. I don't know how big Halloween really is there, but we get a lot of people from Buffalo, to come through, but not a lot of Canadians.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know of any haunted houses, like well-known haunted houses in Canada. I'm not saying that there's not.
No, yeah.
I'm sure there are.
Yeah.
I know Fried Ideas, who's a supplier, all your Peekaboo and your Flexes and all that stuff come from them.
Yeah.
A Canadian company.
Yeah.
I buy a lot of the contact lenses
Yeah.
for our crew from the Canadian company, Primal.
Yeah.
So I imagine there's got to be something over there.
Yeah, we do know in Niagara Falls, Canada, there's Nightmare Factory, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And you follow like a little dot, and it's like one of those like,
Yeah.
you know, when you're going like at a fair, you know, it's that
Yeah,
type
yeah.
of attraction. And it has like those like scare photos you get at the end.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I know. But it's pretty, yeah, I don't know really a lot over there. So, but maybe one day I'll figure it out. Yeah.
Do you ever go over there?
Not really. No, no. It's funny because it's just like, it takes a minute to get over.
Yeah.
And you see it. Like
Yeah.
you see Canada and you're like, oh, let's go over. But never really. No, not really.
Gonna get some French fries and gravy, sir.
Yeah, totally. Definitely.
I'm not fucking on Canadian people. I'm just having fun here. Okay, sweet. So, how long has Seven Gates been open?
So we started, I want to say, in 2022. So we're going on to our third season.
Okay.
We opened the year after, I think that's the year after COVID. So we kind of were building during COVID. I moved back home. And
Yes.
then we were looking for a location. We found like an empty mall. Like the mall is completely abandoned. And we're in a Sears. So
Yeah.
we found this space and we were like, why not do it? You know, it was cheap and we were building already. We were just building.
And there's not probably a lot of haunts up there then.
No, there used to be House of Horrors and
Yeah.
Haunted Catacombs. That was the haunted house I grew up on.
Right.
And there's Fright World. So that's, and also another big one. And then there's Everhaunt in Angola. So that's kind of a little bit farther. They do awesome stuff as well there.
Yeah.
But that's really it. And there's some, you know, hay rides and all that.
Sure.
But nothing like, you know, massive, huge like that. But there's some that are coming. And I think that will be awesome in the next few years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think people don't understand quite as much about like haunted houses or the haunted attractions, however you want to, you know, label them. But, you know, we have like, there's us here in Mansfield, Ohio. And then we have the Trail of Nightmares, which is in Ontario, which is not even 10 minutes from here, not
Yeah.
even. And then there's the Mohegan Haunted Schoolhouse. So like we're all within like 10 to 20 minutes of each other, and
Yeah.
it's just like if they're going to go to mine, they're going to go to yours.
Yeah,
so it's not
100%.
really like a, you know, a competition, really.
Definitely not. I think, you know, everyone travels, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I get people from Rochester. That's about an hour and change. You
Yeah.
know, they just come out like all the
Yep.
time. And everyone goes, yeah, I was at Fright World this year. And I was at, you know, Everhaunt this year. Now I'm here for you guys. Like they go everywhere.
Yeah.
And I think really the ones that don't are like, you know, the high schoolers,
Right.
You know, the
Yeah.
area high schoolers and stuff. But definitely like the older adults that love haunting,
Mm-hmm.
and love October, they're going to travel. And it doesn't bother me at all, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
and these guys were my childhood, you know, like I'm not going to go against them or,
Sure.
you know, try to be angry. You're taking these people. No, because, you know, I grew up on your stuff. I worshipped your stuff growing up. And, you know, it's cool to see, you know, that people are just loving us and loving everyone else as well and supporting local haunts.
That's good. That's always good.
Yeah.
I try to do that as well. It's like I always like we talk on the
yeah.
show about, you know, Fear Columbus, Nightmare Cleveland, Haunted Hoochie,
Yeah.
you know, Chippewa Lake, Haunted Hydro,
Yeah.
Dent Schoolhouse. I mean, we pump everybody
yeah.
because it's like we're all friends and it's like we're all in it together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So why not just be that way?
Yeah.
So I noticed, like, you know, I mean, I've known you for what, about a year and a half now?
I would say probably when probably like 2 years. I would say a year and a half, 2 years.
You bought
yeah.
some props from us
Yeah,
and
yeah.
your Creature Core. You know,
Yeah.
you and your dad come over and
Yeah.
had an order and everything. 'Cause that's when I first met you guys.
Yeah.
But I don't know everything about you. So
Yeah.
when you agreed to come on, I was like, well, I got to figure some shit out about Dakota.
Yeah, yeah.
So I creeped all your social media. And,
Barely anything.
Yeah, right. There's not a lot. Remember, I text you going, "Hey, man, send me a picture." There's no pictures of you on here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I did notice, like, you have your own website.
Yeah, yeah.
So what's that about? Like, what did you do before Haunted Houses?
Yeah, so I actually still do it. So I work in advertising.
Okay.
I call it the big leagues of advertising because when I say advertising, they think like Sunday.
Yeah.
You know, selling cars on the side of the street.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
That's not what I do. I actually write ads for big companies. I work for a big agency. So my website, I have ads like for Netflix, Facebook Dating, Jimmy John's, Subway. Like
Right.
I've done ads. Right now, the one that's running is with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce with the Subway Sidekicks.
Yeah. I've seen
So
that.
that one, that's my commercial. I filmed that actually the week before we opened. I had to go to LA to film that.
Oh, that is cool.
So that's what I do. So
So you actually shoot them and you direct them?
I'm an art director, so I write the ads and I shoot them too. So I don't,
that's cool.
not physically with a camera, but I'm on set. I'm
Yeah.
with like some A-list, B-list director or whatnot, working together to create this commercial for this brand. So I work for a pretty big agency in New York City. But
I'm gonna put you on the spot, man.
No, I know.
I'm gonna put you on right now.
Super weird. It's
Travis Kelce and Patrick. How'd you not just want to just
honestly,
put X-Lax in all their drinks?
It was hard. It was hard as a Buffalo Bills
That's
fan.
what I'm saying.
And my creative director went up to Travis Kelce and was like, "Man, the best game I've ever seen was when you guys beat the Bills in the playoffs."
You're over there like you son of a bitch.
Yeah. And he was actually super nice. Travis Kelce was the nicest guy that you can meet. Mahomes was cool too. And those guys were awesome. Super nice. And, but it hurt as a Bills fan. And I told him it hurt shaking your hand, hey man, that 13 seconds really messed me up. But it's a cool gig. And I went to school for it. And I lived in LA doing it. And then now since COVID, it just went kind of remote. So I'm just working in Niagara Falls at the Haunt while doing Haunt stuff, and it's pretty fun.
So then so you're obviously a fan growing up of haunted houses, Halloween, all that good stuff. So you, after COVID, were you just like, we're going to open a haunted house. Let's try and find it. I mean, what brought you to do that?
Yeah. I mean, when I was a kid, everyone has the same story.
Yeah.
Home haunt,
Sure.
You do
Love
the
to
home
hear it,
haunt.
though.
Everyone does it, right? The home haunt.
Mm-hmm.
We had a backyard, you went, I think it started, there was a kid across the street from me. His birthday was on Halloween, and he did like a little, he had a duplex, and he had that, the hallway that splits with the top and bottom apartments. He did that as a haunted house, so I became obsessed with that. I stopped trick-or-treating. I stopped eating candy, I guess you can say. Obviously not. But it's I did that, and then I went to college, and I did my own home haunt before college. Went through the driveway, the garage, the backyard, did all the whole nine.
Yeah.
And went to college and kind of stopped doing it. But I always kept up with the industry. Always wanted to go to Trans World.
Yeah.
Was obsessed with it, right? And I watched these guys that did daily vlogs about Halloween, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. I love this stuff, watching it. And then when COVID hit, I was in LA, and I came home. And it was great to come home because, COVID was a serious time for a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, I rented a garage, literally a 20 foot by 20 foot garage, and started building my first facade by myself. And kind of, it generated, and I had family come in and help, and we just started going crazy. And we just started it. We opened, and we built an attraction before even having a space. And we just built it in pieces. And we kind of just put it together when we were there.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Definitely COVID. That's the good thing about COVID. Starting something, and something I've always wanted to do.
Right.
And I think everyone understands that bug you get. And you're like, hey, I want to do it. I love Halloween. How many people come up to me during the season saying I wish I could do this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, you got a blank check?
Right. Yeah.
Here you go. You want to buy it?
How many people want to do you got a full-time job?
Yeah.
Well, I do.
Yeah.
You know
exactly.
what I mean? Yeah. And you're one of the lucky few that can do that, because all your actors that are here seasonally, you love them and you wish you could have them on more, but it's there's year-round haunts just aren't really.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some year-round haunts, but it's hard to pull off. Nobody's thinking about Halloween in April.
Yeah.
Or May.
It's hard. And we do the off-season events too,
Yeah, so do we, yeah.
And it's, how it is. To get people out there, it's a little difficult because, they're not thinking Halloween. Though Valentine's, that was awesome.
I was going to ask you about that, yeah.
That was totally blew me away by amount of people coming. I think the whole date night thing, that was huge. But anyways, that being a full-time haunt, that's not no one in Buffalo is doing that, right? There's Fright World, they just do season.
Yeah.
And they're out. We're doing everything, so it's a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So have you ever, maybe in the new haunt, you probably did your home haunt. Do you act, do makeup?
Yeah. I guess sometimes I act.
Yeah.
It's minimum. My first year I was acting a lot.
Yeah.
Because you got the call-offs. And that was my first time, kind of dealing with actors, and the call offs were crazy.
Yes.
Ruins your day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, how am I going to fill the scene? And so I had to step in and, do 6 different scares or whatnot.
Yeah.
Because all of our attractions have like an actor area, so they can do more than one scare.
Right.
So I was doing that. And then this year I kind of did a little bit of lobby acting, with a good actor of ours, Dusty. His character's Cheese.
Yeah.
So that's Cheese. Yeah. So in Mortal Mask, like, it's like the rat. And people love him because all he says is cheese, And it's the weirdest
How original.
thing. Very original. But people love it. Like, they go crazy for him. And so I was doing some lobby acting as like a pig and stuff, but how original there too. But people love that type of stuff. And, but mainly I kind of like to stay behind the scenes. I kind of wear many hats during the night. Yeah.
That's the rough part about the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Is you got like here we have two different radios. So you got the Blood Prison radio, which I have in this year, and I'm talking to like my acting manager and zone leaders, security, and all that stuff going on, stoplights, and then in the other ear I got the Ohio State Reformatory radio.
Wow.
So if they have an issue with something going on, they got to. So I got 2 things in my ear, and I'm just like, by the end of the night, I just want to throw them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's, and then the nights I act, it's just like I still have one in.
Yeah.
But it's like it's just more fun that way.
Yeah, definitely.
You get to have some more fun when you do it like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to give channels now to like some different parts of the haunt. Like, managers, you're on this one.
Yeah. That's what we do. Yeah.
It's just too much sometimes.
We've been trying. I'm sorry, dude. I was on channel 3. Should have went there.
You got to know that.
Yeah.
That's my channel.
I can be anywhere.
Yeah.
I was on ops. Sorry. So tell me about your you're in Niagara Falls and you're in an old mall.
Yeah.
So like how did that come to be? Like how did you get the mall? Did you buy it from like a company? Was it your childhood mall growing up and we're going to do the hunt there? Or, I mean, how'd you get it?
Honestly, it just happened. It was weird. We called the number. And, here's a space that's open.
Old mall for sale. Saw the billboard, called him.
I was like, call Neil. That's what it was. And it was like, all right, we'll call it. And, the rent was really good, really well priced. And the guy he bought the mall. He actually is from Canada. Mm-hmm. He bought the mall just with a dream to kind of, make it into like an entertainment facility, kind of just like fun things to do in Niagara Falls because that does not exist, on the U.S. side as much. So he wants to do that. And actually, back in the day, that was like rezoned for like a theme park, that whole entire property. Mm-hmm. So we kind of were like, well, we want to do a haunted house. And I came up with this huge business plan. Like, hey, like we're trying to start out. We don't have a crazy amount of funds. How do we do this? Because this is a dream of ours. This is how we can do it. And he was like, okay, let's do it. And so he gave us a whole Sears and, 80,000 square feet. And
that's pretty good.
Yeah. And we were able to build attractions. I think we started off with 3, but we were kind of late in the year and we made them short. They were not as big. And then this year we expanded. Last year we expanded. And this year we're adding a whole new attraction. We have a Midway in there. We have escape rooms, mini escape rooms, axe throwing, and then our fun park that we just added.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, the days of just going to a haunted house, I think, are, you're kind of putting that behind you. It's you want the customer to come and like stay for an hour or two and have the experience aside from your haunted house and throw axes and, do escape rooms. We're doing that too. We're getting escape rooms ready. But yeah, that's kind of the way it's going, and I kind of dig it. You know what I mean? And
definitely.
you wish it was like that always.
Yeah, you want them to hang out.
Absolutely.
Like now, back in the day, I can tell you for a fact they did not want you to hang out.
Yeah, get in, get out.
Get out.
Yeah, we got parking spots we got to fill, buddy. Go.
Yeah. Now I'm just like, yo, we want you guys to stay.
Yeah. Because
you're gonna spend more money and have a good time, right? That's really honestly what it is. And the mini escapes are awesome for us, right? They do great.
Now, do you do 5-minute escape rooms? 10
5 minute, yeah. And we 5 minute, and we don't sell out. We just keep them going. We just go boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
We have 3 of them, so we made like a little motel. So each room is kind of a different theme. We have serial killer, and then the other 2 are kind of changing because we found out that non-horror games do not work. So definitely stick with the horror games.
Sure.
But you learn it, you live and learn, you know. But the axe throwing we have there, we have food, we have a huge horror like shop, like that's like horror themed memorabilia, and you also have like our gear and all that. And then we just add new things here and there, and we really want to make our lobby like super fun, like music blaring, like not like your creepy music, just like having fun. A whole shareable moment is what we want. We have a huge photo op area. That's all we want to do, and that's really all the props I bought this year was photo op stuff, because that's your biggest advertising right there.
Sure. Yeah, because people post it.
Yeah.
And they put it all over their social media from everything, you know, and it's all video or photo, and, you know, TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah.
You know, people post that, tag you, and good stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. If, you know, if I don't know if you have a lot of photo ops here, but that totally is huge for us. Like people just taking selfies, and it's awesome.
The photo ops, we have a couple, but it's like the building, like all of our, it's a photo op. You know what I mean? So you get like, you know, people always come in and they like rig it their way so they've got the building behind them. You know, and then Blood Prison. But yeah, we got a couple things that we're doing this year for photo ops. Doing a whole new thing in the warden's dining room, which is going to be really cool. But yeah, it's the photo ops and the things are, you know, Christmas we do like a big. You guys do a Christmas show, yeah? The Central Guard room, which I don't think I took you guys in there, but the Central Guard room is like basically one big photo op. So you walk in there, and then it's just lights, presents. You know, sweet. I mean, it's beautiful because we wax the floor, so all the lights just gleam up. It's just so cool. I mean, it's just presents, and it's like
that's awesome.
Like a pathway you walk through, and then we got a big facade over the door. So like we let people take photos in there as they're coming in. Because Christmas isn't like October. It's good and it's decent, but like we don't get to use the cell blocks. You know, for that kind of stuff. But yeah, and then we just did one in the bullpen where I did take you guys down there. And we did a new scene in there, which is also not really a photo op, but people were taking pictures in there. You know, but you got to have that.
You have to. It's definitely huge, like especially with characters and all that. Like you got to do it. And this year, I think we're going to incorporate like, you know, having some of our staff with cameras taking photos and uploading it so people can, you know, take it home with them and everything. We just want to kind of do that. And there was a guy at Transworld this year it was called Curator. You can scan your face and all your photos pop up, you know, from the night. And you can have like little scare cams throughout the attractions too.
That's pretty cool.
And I'm like, that's pretty sweet. You know, why not make this a huge shareable experience? Because a lot of places like you can't have cameras inside, you know. No, like take
why
photos,
not? Try
have fun, you know, have a good time, you know, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, that's a lot of things here is people, you tell them, you know, keep your phones in your pockets, you know, but when I do media stuff, it's like, we have areas. It's like, all right, you can take pictures here. You know, we don't want to give everything away.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying? But that is a good idea for the spots that you're cool with. You know, because most of it's so not, the lighting isn't going to, you're not going to get to see everything. You know what I mean? Because you can't light it up like now, like it is in here.
A lot of things look worse in a photo. You know, and then
it's really true.
You know?
And you don't want that. You don't want something bad. You know, you always want, so like when you can control like the big giant clown monster, the big giant, you know what I mean? That's cool.
Not turned off.
Not just sitting there just
totally.
All limp and shit. So your escape rooms, man. I'm curious on those because we're starting escape rooms finally. And we've been kind of lagging behind on that. How do those go for you? I mean, do they stay pretty busy? During Halloween?
During Halloween, yes. So during Halloween, we're pretty much booked through the night. If we're not, I kind of have my escape room employees like push like salesmen like, hey, we need 10 people to fill this room, and it usually happens. So pre-show, it's hit or miss, right? Like obviously later in the season, it's very hard to get into the escape rooms. But October, we're doing good. Winter months, you know, it's cool. You know, not a lot of people travel to Niagara Falls. And in Buffalo, it's pretty hard to travel in the wintertime.
I'd imagine.
And plowing, an empty mall it's a bit difficult. You know what I mean? So we kind of took a back seat on that a little bit this year. But during the summer months, it gets busy because all the tourists come and all that.
Now, summer months, do you run 1 hour rooms?
Yes. So we do put them on. I'm not promoting it right now as much, just because we just opened up that fun park in the backside, and but But definitely when they are running, it does good. It's a busy night, of escape rooms. But like I said, we're a little bit far from Niagara Falls. A lot of people that travel are taking Ubers or whatnot.
Yeah.
It's not like an Uber distance. You're paying, that's a $20, $30 Uber to get to us.
Okay.
But if you were on Fall Street or whatnot with escape rooms, I think we'd be slammed.
Yeah.
But we're kind of in the middle of nowhere, Niagara Falls. Yeah.
So what are your escape room themes? What do you got in there?
So we got mortuary. So it's like a morgue. Mm-hmm. It's really cool.
Yes, I've heard about that.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. Yeah. It's you start in like a funeral home, a parlor. Then you go into like the kind of like morgue room with a body on the table, a few bodies, and the cabinets, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
But then you crawl into an incinerator. It's a lot of fun.
That's cool.
We got that one. Then we got Area 57. We did 57 because seven gates. And 51, we just had fun,
Yeah.
And that one's like your Area 51
alien type
laboratory.
stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Aliens are creepy to me, so I think that's definitely like that fun kind of one. And we were going to do another one. I really want to do like a Ghostbusters one.
Yeah.
But like I said, we focused on that fun park, and we built a whole new attraction this year for a new haunted house. So we kind of took a back seat on the escape rooms a little bit.
So tell me about the fun park then. What do you got going on there?
Yeah, so we wanted to start creating some revenue in the off season, and a lot of haunts kind of they lean towards escape rooms or experiences like that, and we kind of had like a different idea. We had a space that was kind of in a warehouse that already was like kind of mini golf and laser taggy. But no one was running it. It was just empty. So it was just an empty mini golf course in a warehouse. It's kind of weird. And we decided to reinvent that area and put bounce houses in. And we put 12 bounce houses. We have mini golf still. We have a bunch of party tables and an arcade.
That's cool.
And it's been awesome. Yeah. It's been paying all the bills, and it's been doing great. And it gives us more, revenue to kind of put towards the haunted house as well, and kind of just have more fun, because the first few years starting attraction is a little tough, right?
It is, yeah,
because you're building a whole audience, right? So with this fun park, we're advertising to the little kids.
Yeah.
To be like, hey, you're gonna grow up with us. You're gonna go to the fun park as a kid, and then you're gonna go
to the haunted house,
Gates Screampark right after.
This guy's in marketing and advertising. You can tell.
Yeah.
Get them while they're young. You must have worked in the cigarette industry for a while.
Exactly. But yeah, no, it's been awesome. Like, if I can tell any haunt owner to like, if they have the space, I mean, do something with kids. Just birthday parties, right? Every kid needs a birthday party,
sure.
and even as parents, you kind of like, oh gosh, I gotta spend this, but they're gonna. They're gonna always book a birthday party for their kid.
Yeah.
And it's been great. It's been awesome, and it definitely is giving us even more community credit, and definitely bringing something new that's not been there ever. You know, so it's awesome.
So, did you you said you got bounce houses? I see people like you rent them, bring them in, or did you buy them?
No, we bought them all. Yeah. So
how many times are you guys back there jumping on them?
I don't know. Not me. I'm past the weight limit on that.
Oh, really? Oh, there's a weight limit. Damn.
Definitely.
I'd be back there all day.
Definitely.
My guys out of here. I'm gonna jump.
My guys
on for a while.
Definitely. I hear them bouncing sometimes and giggling. No.
Yeah.
But no, it's definitely.
That'd be fun, man.
It'd be super cool because it's literally. It's a curtain that blocks you from the haunted houses and the fun park.
Yeah, there you go.
So the little kids can be like, oh, what's behind this curtain? And then there's bodies. You
yeah,
know what I mean? And you're like, oh, no, you don't go past that, but it's definitely awesome.
So your off-season events, you do a Valentine's Day and a Christmas. Do you do any other ones?
We did zombie warfare, so like laser tag. We did that as well. We didn't do it this year because of just a really big remodel that we did.
Yeah.
So we kind of took a pause. We did after Valentine's Day. We did not know how it was going to go, and it just blew my socks off. I just really honestly, I couldn't believe the numbers for that off-season event. Christmas does okay. It's like I think
Christmas is hard to compete with.
It is very hard because it's a different feeling that you get. I don't think people think of scary in that, but with Valentine's Day and romance and getting scared, watching a scary movie with your girlfriend, it's like that's a thing, right? And so Valentine's Day definitely was an event we had to capitalize on.
That's cool.
Yeah.
we've tossed around the idea, but it's
I recommend it, man.
Yeah,
I do. It's for some reason it's that whole couples and we were selling like the dual tickets. We did a dinner that was really fun. We did like a special dinner in our lobby, and we sold. I think it was like 20 tables sold out in like a day.
No kidding.
And it was a dinner and a scare, so we had actors.
That's cool.
That were like
during your dinner.
Yeah, during the dinner.
That's cool. Yeah.
So they were serving cheese was there. The pig guy was there. We had another guy.
Yeah.
But people were
your main actors.
Yeah, our main actors, cheese and bacon. The super original actors.
Yeah, the good ones.
Yeah.
The ones on the billboards.
Yeah, exactly. Those guys. They were serving the food, and there was. People had a blast. They were laughing the entire time. And it was completely in the dark. So we did it as a blackout event. And I know, blackout, you just turn the lights off, but people love it.
Yeah,
And
they do.
We gave them like one of those LED candles to walk through. And it was awesome. It was a great time.
So, dude, blackouts, that's the thing about blackouts. See, here's the thing. That is, like, when I took you through solitary, like I told you, that's all we do is we just turn the lights off and just have disoriented music everywhere. People, like, you get more screams out of that place than anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's just like going back to the days of, scare houses and fun houses. It was like dark.
Yeah.
And that was the scariest part because you didn't know what exactly was going to happen.
It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Like, we have a dark attraction right now, and I hate it.
Yeah.
I think any haunt owner would probably say the same thing. Like, I hate it. It was one of those ones we had to fill the space. Mm-hmm. And it's still there, and it's going to be there for a third season. And next year I want to change it. But people love it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. There's just loud scares, and that's really it. And it's completely pitch black. But they love it.
Yeah.
And
they're scared.
Super weird. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's not, they don't care about the sets. But I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the fun. That's,
it is. And you got to have it, though.
You gotta have
you got to have, nowadays, we used to do, like, we have solitary. Yeah. Okay. That's the dark zone. But everywhere, you can't do a whole haunt that's that, especially if you're like 80,000 square feet.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got to do something, and now it's not just a scarecrow with a pumpkin on its lap. You know what I mean? You've got to do badass stuff. It's got to look totally detailed. Yeah, and it's got to look like something that you don't see anywhere else. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you don't see in your everyday life is what I'm saying.
Totally. Yeah.
People expect that, especially when you're big. Yeah. They want to see cool shit.
Yeah. And that's definitely with our new attraction that we're adding. We wanted to step it up, right? The attractions in our area are awesome. Yeah. Like, they're all Hollywood style sets. Yeah. And we were the young ones, right? We were like, okay, let's step it up. Even though I love our attractions now, I wanted to step it up, and I wanted to build even cooler sets. Yeah. And our newest attraction looks awesome, and I'm super happy with it. And I think people are gonna love the fact that it's just awesome, and not like your Black Maze, like you were saying. Like, I think it's just gonna be super awesome and highly detailed and fun.
Dark mazes are for your, and it is a big part of of the people that come through your haunt. Yeah. Your teenage. Yeah. Girls. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Or just overall not into like the cool set designing. Yeah. They're not into horror movies. Oh, yeah. They're just coming out because the football game's over. You know what I mean? Let's go to a haunted house. Yeah. But that's a big chunk. Yeah. So you got to have it. Yeah. But everybody else that comes, like if I come through your haunt, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, the actor's jumping out. Oh, yeah, okay. You know what I mean? It's just like, what we got going? And I'm looking at every little detail. I'm looking at every...
Definitely.
We're looking for that inspiration for what we do. Yeah. That's the whole point. 100%. That's why you go.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And I learned that, early on from, just the people that I worked with. Because I was like that. I was just like, it's cool. Yeah. You know what I mean? But they're like, no, man. No. Yeah. It's got you that... We have a running joke here. Yeah. Tear those goddamn tags off the extension cord. Yeah. They're white. You see them. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, like, it's every minute detail. Yeah. And I've really taken that on. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because just if that one fucking guy that turns around and looks and you're thinking, nobody's going to turn around and see that. There's always that dude. And then you see it on your review. Yeah, it was cool, but I saw a stupid white tag. Or I saw, just, and you're just like, son of a bitch. Yeah. And then you got to be like, sorry. You know what I mean? Yeah. You don't want to do that. You got to detail the shit out of it. So it all goes, I think, hand in hand.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah.
What's been your biggest challenge getting into it?
I don't know. I mean, like finding influence without like taking, ideas from other people. That's probably the hardest.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to copy, right? That's like your biggest thing. And so like trying to kind of develop more ideas and kind of how do we make a scare? Like that's probably the most challenging thing, I think. Like building is easy. Like that's the easiest part for us.
Yeah.
I got some great builders and a great team around the attraction. It's just like, all right, what's the scare? You know what I mean?
Right.
And kind of
that's the first thing when you're designing the room. We're going to make this room.
Yeah.
Well, how are we scaring you here?
Exactly. Yeah. And actors, you know what I mean? Like that's a huge thing, right?
That's always the hard part.
Like we don't run a big staff, we're not, because our attractions are built to be able for one person to do, 3-4 scares.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. And, so it's getting those actors to do those scares or like to feel like, yes, I can do this. A lot of them, we don't have a lot of veterans, you know what I mean? That kind of been doing this for a while. A lot of the kids are just like, I saw a sign for hiring and seems like a cool. And sometimes they work out like amazing. Right. Yeah. And sometimes, they need a lot of work and we get them there.
Yeah.
But they come back and, even if the ones that are not as great, they come back and they want to learn more and get better. And it's awesome. Sure. But definitely that's a huge challenge.
It is.
Because actors are a huge part, right? For the scare or whatnot.
Yeah. They'll always be mandatory. I mean, it's like, you can't, look, there's a lot that goes into your animatronics and where you put them and how you set your scene up for them and everything. And that's all good.
Yeah.
But your actors, you need them.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's museum and you're in the museum business. And it's like, museums are cool, but you want that, the thing now is just the makeup is so good.
Yeah.
That, seeing an actor that looks like a prop is really, I feel, taken on more this in this day and age, I guess we could say. You know what I mean? Because it's like there's some ones where you're just like, holy shit, man.
Yeah.
I was not ready for that.
Yeah.
Because it looked legit like I thought it was just a mannequin or, just a prop.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely with like all the masks out there too. It's like they're great. They can make some really good characters and it can actually make not that great of an actor, actually an awesome actor.
Yeah.
You put a cool mask on, they're going to be terrified of it,
Absolutely. And when you're talking about like, doing things like that's what I always tell everybody with us is like, we don't want to copy, but we want the inspiration.
Yeah.
But I talked to a guy in New Orleans when we were down there who runs a haunt. And I was like, dude, I love this. He's like, do it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, I don't want. He's like, dude, where you at? I'm like, Ohio. He's like, fuck it, man. You're in Ohio. Just do it. You know what I mean? I was like, well, okay, maybe. You know what I mean? Because, now if I'm ripping off the guy next to me, he might get a little hurt about that.
Yeah.
But you don't really want to, do what they do. But
yeah,
you also got to think about it too. It's like, I go to Trans World. You go to Trans World. Yeah. I know we've got a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? It's like,
the catalogs are so, they're tiny.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Unit 70 makes different variations.
Yeah.
And you can be like, hey, I want this and this kind of style. And they're like, oh, cool. Yeah. And that makes it different. But yeah, a lot of like the big guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, actually, a lot of our attractions in the area don't do like the whole big Unit 70 guys. That's what I like to do.
Mm-hmm.
House of Horrors and Haunted Catacombs, that's what they did. They had every big guy from Unit 70, and that's what I grew up on. I didn't grow up on the other attractions, and they don't really do that.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want the big guys.
Yeah.
So I just bought Unit 70 giant guys because that looks cool to me. That's like the fun,
Yeah.
And
something giant and moving
it's creepy.
is always going to be good.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to scare them.
Yeah.
But they're just like, whoa.
Yeah. I got the Pennywise with like the screaming kid.
The kid,
and, the arms. People love that thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. It's, you know what I mean? I bought it. I'm like, that's sweet. But people like go crazy over it. And it's just in our lobby because it's one of those things where you're like, let's not waste it in a scene yet. Then maybe a year or two we'll put it in a scene or whatnot. But I just moved Diablo into a scene.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those scenes where you're like, that's going to make your jaw drop, right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. Like him talking and all that.
Yeah.
Because like no other attraction in the area is really doing that with like the big monsters.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh yeah. I think people like that because they have a Pennywise one. I think they just have a regular big monster holding a child.
Yeah.
I think people just like to see children tortured. I mean, there's nothing like seeing children.
Oh yeah.
Like, because you know what? Because they're legit scared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we'll never have that. You can go to any haunted attraction you want to, and you're not going to be scared. But a little kid, you're just like, ha, you're scared. You're going to die.
We were just,
you're going to die.
When we were at the Chippewa Lake Slaughterhouse,
yeah.
the whole scene.
Yeah.
The kids hanging.
Yep.
And that's terrifying. I was like, oh my gosh, like that's crazy.
When we do our Christmas stuff here, it's like it's all about children. It's all about children. Chained up, Krampus. Like we just shot this video for our Krampus a couple years ago, and we had Krampus dude running, and it snowed, so it was perfect. And we brought these kids in, and it was. I'm telling you, man, I felt so horrible, but at the same time, it was so goddamn funny. I couldn't get it out of my mind. So a couple of our actors came in, and they're like, "Well, our kids will do it." So we're like, "All right."
Yeah.
So we had this big like something you'd roast a hog in, but it wasn't quite that big, but it was a big fucking grill, man. And we stuffed these two little kids in here.
No.
It's funny because they were here today. They came in with the one actor, but we put these little kids in there, and they were little. They were like 4 and 6 maybe or something like that.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, we're gonna when we open this up, you gotta act scared, like this guy. And so like we open this up, and these little kids are just like, and they're just having the best time, and we're like trying to shoot this, and we're like, this ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
So I pull the mom to the side and I go, listen. If we go ahead and legit scare these kids, are you cool with that? She's like, yep, go ahead. I'm like, sweet. Here we go.
That's awesome.
So like we had this fogger like in the back of it with a tube running into it, and it was like, so when you open it up, the fog would come out of it. Looked really cool.
Yeah.
Had these lights in it. It was so cool. So the guy playing Krampus, he like opens it up and he just like, and they were just like, Little girl just started bawling, and we're just like,
That's awesome.
The dude that was playing Krampus, he was just like, oh shit.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. He felt horrible because he's a nice guy generally, you know what I mean? But I just thought that was the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And, we gave him pizza. Oh, there's pizza. Go get pizza. Are you better? They're eating like, we're okay. So it's like, oh my God. But it was just hysterical, because that's what we did.
Yeah.
So then we had one where we drug them through this field. Yeah. But we used a fake, one of the Ghost Ride kids on the chains, But like everything upstairs in Central is like a chain gang of kids.
Yeah.
And then, because people see that shit, or the kids. We have like the girl in the pot.
Yeah.
In the kitchen, but when it's Christmas time, we put little kids in the pot.
Yeah.
So like they're cooking children.
Yeah.
Because people just kind of freak out about that shit.
Yeah, it's creepy. What I mean? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, super creepy.
People have a heart for children.
Yeah.
So like when you use them, you know what I mean, for scares, like it gets more of a reaction that you're looking for.
Yeah, definitely.
I think anyways.
Yeah, definitely. I think definitely don't put the scary kid things next to our fun park. You know what I mean? They'll be like,
right in the middle of the bounce house, there's a pot full of children just cooking. Yeah. Behave.
Yeah, this is what will happen. But yeah.
Oh, just for the record, I would not harm a child. Okay, too. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Yeah.
But no, it goes. There's so many different ways you can go.
Yeah.
When you're doing all that stuff. So, axe throwing, you brought that up too. That was a big thing for a hot minute there. How's that going for you?
It's it does stuff through. It does good during the season.
Yeah.
Off season, it was one of those. I think.
Kind of flash in the pan.
Yeah, it was. People are doing it all the time. Taking their photos with their coworkers. But it wasn't. During the season's cool. I was looking to sell it. I think I was. If anyone out there wants to buy,
there you go. Here we go.
We have a horror-themed axe throwing. 5 lanes, 4 lanes, 4 lanes, all horror-themed. So if you would like to purchase it, call me. No, but we're looking. I think we want to put a different area in there. I think we're talking about like seating and stuff, and because we were trying to make it a hangout area. Yeah. Kind of. But it's cool.
I love axe throwing, man. I think it's fun.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it definitely is, and it's blacklight. So like that's the entire thing.
Oh shit, that's cool. I've never done that.
It's cool. It has like some cool murals of like Michael Myers, of Ghostface, all that. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you have an outside attraction, 100% do it.
Yeah.
Inside, I don't know if it's like the right vibe.
Yeah.
Right? I think going outside in like your fall jacket, your lumberjack looking outfit, you're gonna do it. But
so inside. Do you serve alcohol?
We do not. We got approved to do it.
So you are gonna do it.
Debating.
Yes.
That's a debate. I I mean, it's very expensive to get a liquor license.
Yes.
You know it, and it's very time consuming. We got approved by the town to do it, and then we kind of went into the process to start doing the whole state, and we just kind of took a pause on it. You know, we realized, I think it's like 10 grand or whatever it is. It's expensive to do it. So we kind of took a back seat on it, but I think during season I'm open to it. I really am. But we do have a lot of younger actors, and I'm like, they're all 18, you know, and I don't know, like the whole drinking, and I've heard things about it, and I heard that, no, it doesn't really do anything. I mean, I would limit drinks probably, definitely.
Yeah.
But I'm open to it, and I think it definitely creates a different atmosphere.
I think it's something, it's really trending up because, you know, my good friend up in Akron, John Eslich, he owns Akron Haunted Schoolhouse and the Factory of Terror in Canton. So he's got those two attractions, and he does a lot of stuff with them. We go up there every now and again, and he's so gracious. He lets us come up, like a bunch of us from a haunt crew or from the Ohio State Reformatory, and we'll go up and we'll play his escape games. Yeah. And then he's got axe throwing, but like he's got it all inside. So like you got your escape games right here and your axe throwing, and then like here's a full bar. Yeah. Like right there. So that's like awesome. We're like drinking and throwing axes, you know, which is fun. You know what I mean? But I was talking with, it wasn't him direct. I mean, I did talk to him a little bit about it, but he's like, no, I'll never not do it. Yeah. They do, because the Factory of Terror, it used to be in Guinness as the longest haunted attraction in the world. It's since been, it's not. Yeah. But it's a long haunt.
Okay. They have the secret bars in their attractions. Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
And I'm like, and a lot of my workers were like, do a secret bar. That'd be super sweet. And if we do get the liquor license, I think I would do it. But definitely a bar crawl sounds awesome.
It'd be badass.
Yeah.
Well, the one guy, one of his managers, I think it was at the factory, he said, he goes, you know, you always got those drunk guys that roll in that have been, you know, hitting back on their flask or drinking at the bar before they got there. They're like, that really has dropped since we've served alcohol. And it's like, okay. Yeah. He's like, they come there knowing that they can get a drink. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's not, they're not in the parking lot, like, you know, tailgating. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or sneaking in flasks or, you know, liquor. Definitely. So they do that, and then they serve, you know, alcohol. And that they said the money that they like, dude, the money is just wild. Yeah. Because, I mean, I'm not a hardcore drinker, but like, oh, let's get a drink. Yeah. You know, why not? We're here. Definitely. Oh, look, it's a vial of blood. Bloody Mary.
$11.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it must be $11 drink night. Must be cheap, you know. But, I mean, you know, he's like, dude, we have less issues with the alcohol. And I'm like, that's something I've been trying to, like, dude, you do it at the end. Oh, yeah. Or you limit it outside. Because, like, the lines here used to be just wild. Yeah. You wait forever. Yeah. Now with the time ticketing stuff that's come in, it's like, dude, you're out there maybe an hour and 10 minutes at the most. Yeah. So it's like they're only going to get a couple drinks in them, and they're fine.
That's $40 right there. You know
Absolutely.
What I mean? And per person. You know? So if you think, definitely something, you know, I don't know how hard it is in Ohio to get a liquor license, but
well, we got one. Because we do events here already.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
even if you just do beer and wine, or I mean, obviously, I think the drinks are cooler, right? You got the blood, you know, the Frankenstein, you know.
You got to theme it out a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's something definitely in the future. I would say. I mean, if we ever were to move and get our own like location or whatnot, I would definitely put a bar in and kind of create that atmosphere. Right? It's more fun. You know, and you limit their drinks. You might, say 3 drinks or whatnot.
Yeah. Tell your bartenders, they know. You usually get a good bartender, they'll know.
Exactly.
Yeah, this guy doesn't need to drink anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
So is that a goal? Is that like moving, like having your own location one day?
I think so. Yeah. I think that's everyone's goal, right? Sure. Like to buy a cool property. Right, I see what you guys have here at Blood Prison, and I'm like, I want a property like this. Like,
I don't own it.
No, it's like one of those properties. Even to get like an opportunity to be a part of something like the Triple L Lake Slaughterhouse that we went to today.
That was cool.
It's super cool, and they bought that property. And to me, buying a property is definitely a long-term goal because you can create a story. Like, I would love to be a singular attraction, like kind of just one, walk through in Buffalo, and we can't do that. A lot of the older attractions that were around, they had the multi-attraction thing. So you can't go like, hey, we're one haunt when, blank is down the road with 5 haunts, right? So I think I want to try to change that one day and make that cool. Like, I've seen schools for sale, I'm just maybe one day.
Yeah.
Definitely looking, just kind of, I always look. I sit at home looking on LoopNet and see, see what's out there.
Yeah. See what's going on.
Yeah.
What do you think of like franchising?
It's cool. I think, I do. I think that was the original idea, for Seven Gates. I wanted to create a name that's easily Seven Gates, Rochester or Seven Gates Buffalo, things like that.
Right.
I think it's a cool idea. I definitely think having more than one attraction, I mean, it's going to cost a lot of money. I think with having a second location or coming up with something else, I mean, you don't do any of your mistakes that you made with your first one.
Yeah.
Right? And I think
for sure.
you build it totally differently.
Yeah.
Probably a lot cleaner. Like our attraction right now is a little messy, but I think that's everywhere, right?
Yeah, sure. 3 years in.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm like 7 or 8 years now, and it's like, dude, I'm still just like, I'm a rookie. You know what I mean? It's like, you're not, you got the big guys out there that have been doing it for 20 years, 30 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think like what Nightmare Cleveland's doing, right? Like making it like Disney, I guess I said it was like
Disney
a Disney
level.
Haunt, where your queue line's all themed, right? And you're like, you're going into this, laboratory, right?
Yeah.
And that's awesome. Like Buffalo does not have that. And I think that's like the next step, right?
Yeah.
To kind of haunted attractions, like the multi-haunted attractions, it's fun. I love doing it. We have the space for it. But I think that one haunt that's just like super well themed, super fun, super scary. I think that's definitely a future that I would like to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be cool.
Yeah.
There's more like, if you look at like us, I think Joliet Prison now out in Chicago, they're doing a haunt there now. Of course, Eastern State Penitentiary.
Yeah.
That's the one place we went to East Coast Haunters Convention. That sold out so fast.
Yeah.
We didn't get to go.
Oh, man.
Because I didn't get tickets in time. It was kind of the same thing. It was like, all right, we're going. Yeah. And then I went to go get tickets, and I'm like, oh, shit, it's sold out.
Oh, man.
So I'm sitting there, but I didn't get to see that. But then there's like Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, I think is what it's called, down in West Virginia.
Yeah.
I don't know of any others, really. And then there's like, like Pennhurst and Eloise up in Michigan.
Those are so cool.
And they're great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because when you get that but like now it's just, you can do it anywhere. I don't want to say anywhere, but it's like, if you do it right, you can do it at a Sears.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it works out. And that's the cool thing, because the more the merrier, if you ask me.
Yeah, I would love to make my haunt right now one haunt, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Like we have, all of our attractions are built like long.
Yeah.
Even though they're like 3,000 to 4,000 square foot each, but they're like super long. The rooms are not massive. They're like 8x8, 12x12 rooms. So it's like a lot of twists and turns.
Yeah.
And all that. Like what I've realized going on tours today, like these places are doing huge rooms, right? We don't do that. Like ours are really tight, kind of. We want you to feel kind of compressed.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. And if I were to make that a single haunted house, that'd be a super long one.
Yeah.
Especially with all the twists and turns, but maybe one day, But yeah, you could definitely make it work in a Sears if you're there,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And then, doing an outdoor haunt is something that I don't know if I would want to jump into that world just because like the weather was rough on us here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And Buffalo's the same, right?
Yeah.
It's
man.
like,
I can imagine. Do you guys get a lot of snow in October?
No, but I've heard like horror stories with like, I have a friend that had a haunt and we had an October storm and it just killed him, right?
Yeah.
It just ruined his business. It didn't do it again, and that's kind
sucks.
of, it's terrible, right? And so we haven't had it snow in October for a little bit, but maybe it'll come down a little bit, but it won't stick.
Yeah.
But definitely an outdoor haunt, I think in Buffalo works actually, which is weird because I think a lot of people like that fall outside thing, right?
Yeah.
Like wanting to go outside and not necessarily to the Sears down at South Park Mall,
Yeah.
They want to be like, I want to be outside, have my hot cider. Like there's this haunted house in Ellicottville, which is about an hour out from Buffalo. And they're just that old school kind of haunted house. hayride kind of thing, and it's slammed. You know what I mean? But it's windy and cold. People are buttoned up, but they love that. You know, which is weird. I mean, Buffalonians they're a different animal.
Yeah. They're used to that stuff up there, though. Come on.
Yeah, snowstorms, all that.
We're bitches down here compared to that. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to snow, like we get 2 inches of snow down here, and they're calling school off. You know, then you're up in Buffalo area, and it's just like, well, we got 2 feet today.
They have a cat pulling all the snow out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
it's just like, no, thank you. Snow belt my ass. I ain't going up there. And I don't mind snow.
Yeah,
I don't mind it. I've grown up in Ohio. We get snow.
Yeah.
Okay, not Buffalo snow.
Yeah.
But you know, we had in 2018. That was probably my worst year since I've been here, and that was year 2. And it was like, I remember just like standing on the front porch of this place and just watching the snowfall, and I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, yeah.
And it wasn't just one weekend; it was like 2 weekends in a row,
man.
and it was snowing, and we're just like,
that beats you up.
Serious right now?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
You know, and we're not outside, but it's freezing inside, so you worry about your actors getting cold, and then we had lines out, 3 to 5 hour waits.
Yeah.
And everyone, by the time they're just out there and they're just like, once they get in, they're just pissed off.
Yeah.
They're not ready to have fun anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you could throw everything you got at them.
Yeah.
And they're just like, we don't care.
Yeah.
We want a refund. Yeah. Sorry, dude. Do you get that a lot? Do you like, we want a refund? Do you do the no refunds?
No, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you got to.
You got it. You're right. Because it's not scary. And I'm like, all right, you're a 45-year-old man.
Yeah.
This is for, it's for kids, right? I mean, haunted houses, yes, it's the scenery is really cool, right?
Yeah,
and that's more, the scares are great too, but, really the kids are a huge market, right?
Yeah.
The high schoolers, they have a blast, right?
Sure.
They're the ones that are coming in waves, right?
Yep.
And then you got the older people, but they have a blast too. But there's that, that one person that's like, it wasn't scary.
Yeah. There's that one dick. We'll call him a dick.
You're like, what do you think? I mean, we're not going to, tie you up and, drag you.
I've been asked. Yeah. Do you guys do touch passes?
No, we don't.
No, we do touch passes. And it's just like, hey, man. You like zap me, dude? Or you like put a rope around my neck? It's like, no. I ain't gonna do that. I ain't going that crazy.
Yeah. No, that's too wild. I think I don't know if New York State allows that, but I'm not into that. The whole the touch haunt. It's too big of a liability. You know what I mean?
Well, there's training that goes into it.
Yeah.
And
you got to put a lot of trust in your actors.
You do. But see, we do it like we train them. Yeah. So like a first year actor comes in, it's like, no, you don't get to touch. No touching. You know what I mean? That's kind of a rule. Unless they've worked at a touch haunt before.
Yeah.
And then we explained like, this is what we do. Yeah. And this is all we do. But dude, my guests, they love it. You know how many touch passes we sell a year? It's wild.
Wow. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's and it's another revenue stream, because it's like, it's $5 extra or $7 extra, whatever it is, to get that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're like, oh, okay. So people buy it, and then, but you got to do the waiver type situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of insurance companies won't cover it.
Yeah.
But some people want it.
Yeah.
And why not? It's like, give the people what they want. That's the way I am.
Yeah.
And we've established it pretty good, and we've got a pretty good routine down. So
that's awesome.
It is. It's fun. It makes it, and then when I act on, because I'll act on Sundays, like I'm gonna all right, my goal is to get a complaint.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get somebody to complain. I haven't had it happen yet.
Oh.
And I went balls out on people, man. Trying to get them to all right. I'm like picking them up, which I tell them all my actors not to do. Is like, don't you pick anybody up? Yeah. Don't you tackle them, and I'm in there just like, come here, he's like running through, and they're just like, what the fuck's going on, but I haven't gotten a complaint yet. So when they want to see the manager, I just want to walk up and be like, I'm here. What happened? Tell me what happened.
It's just you.
It's just me, and they're just like, well, it was
you.
It was you. It was me. So off-season events, I meant to ask you, are you planning on doing any more?
No, I was going to do halfway to Halloween.
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah.
I think that's what we did our laser tag event for.
Okay.
Because the halfway to Halloween is, I think, because we have guys there full year, like year round building. So I don't want to give it away. I don't want to give anything new away. In New York State, it's a little different. You got to get it inspected, as like an amusement park ride. So they come through, they inspect it super crazy.
State officials?
Yep, state officials.
Wow.
So that's like the people that do like, the Erie County Fair, like the fairs and stuff, all that.
Yeah.
They come through and they give us like, it's basically a ride inspection. They treat it as a fun house. So you have to pay for that. So you have to pay for that, that permit every year. It's not crazy expensive, right? But it's that permit for, hey, this is safe from the state of New York. So I don't want to re-permit, you know what I mean? Anything. So for my off-season events, it's just minor updates, like as in like adding decorations that are different. Right. And we have the state guy comes through and he inspects that all. It's not enough to be like, you need a new permit,
I got
So
you.
a lot of our updates, we kind of close off those areas or we just build on to the attraction.
Yeah.
But since we kind of were like, hey, we wanted to redo these new scenes, make them really cool, we can't do any more events after Valentine's Day. So I can have my guys, build. And we're basically, I would say we're almost done. All of our buildings just about done. We're getting into the aging phase, our newest attraction, that's all lit. We just lit it this week. So that's kind of almost done. And now we're working on animations and all that. So
right on.
Yeah. So, I mean, if I were to do an event, that would not happen. And you can't work on the facade because I don't want to show people. It just, the new scenes, you don't want to give it away.
Yeah.
In my opinion, because they'll be in October, be like, what did you do different?
Yeah.
And that's your...
Same as last year.
Yeah. But I get people for Valentine's Day, probably I would say about 80% of them were new. So a lot of not returners. So that was interesting.
We had a lot too at Christmas.
Yeah.
They were like, it's a totally different vibe. Yeah. It's a totally different...
different crowd.
It really is. I mean, you got your Halloween guys that always come back. Yeah. But like you get so many like couples that come in and and it's totally just different. Like, and they just like, this was so fun, you know? And I'm just like, glad you had fun.
Yeah. And I love to talk to people when they come in and out.
Yeah.
Like I think a lot of my staff is like, don't do that because they're going to come to you with the complaints. But I'm like, I want to know.
Yeah. You got to know. You got to do
you know
that.
what I mean? And I go out and like, hey, I'm the owner, like, thanks for coming out, having a good time. And, and I always ask, like, is this your first time here? And everyone I ask, it's mostly, yes, this is my first time here because we're still new.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool, and it gets me more excited because, now these people are going to come back in October, and kind of hopefully they come back next year for the Valentine's event again.
Right.
So it's a lot. But I also get those returners that go, hey, I've been to every off-season event. Like, I'm a huge fan. And I'm like, that's pretty awesome to see.
Yeah.
That's
what
cool. You want,
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That means you're doing it right.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I
mean?
Yeah. You get those repeat guys that come back and you're like, there's one guy that you see, oh man, I saw him last year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You see them. I love getting the crazy guests.
Yeah.
The ones you don't expect.
Yeah.
Like the Amish. We had some Amish people rolling in here one time and we're just like,
it's like, let's do it.
Okay. Is there a horse and buggy? What the hell's going on here?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's totally
those are the ones that were just like, or there was a guy years ago, first couple years. Yeah. There was an older gentleman, and I give him all the credit in the world. He wanted to go through it. This dude was toting a oxygen tank.
No.
I swear to God. And he was like carrying this thing with him, and I'm just like, okay, let's follow him through. Let's make sure he gets through okay. Yeah. And we got to a claustrophobia, and boy, he tried. Yeah. He's like trying to get through this thing. Yeah. And I finally went up to him and was like, sir, why don't we take you around?
Yeah, definitely.
We took him around there, but he finished the whole thing.
Yeah. We have a few guests that come back year after year and they're in a wheelchair or whatnot, or they can't do a few things. So we give them like some tours, kind of like, hey, this is our cast room. You know what I mean? Come check it out. Like all of our attractions you can go through with a wheelchair, like no problem at all. But it's just super fun. We kind of give them a little tour with those, guests that come through.
Yeah.
You give them a different experience, like say like they can't do the claustrophobia tunnel. So we're like, all right, we'll show you the back end. You know what I mean? Show you this kind of cool thing. So that's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those guests that come through that, there's a couple, I didn't see them last year. That's the first year I haven't seen them. But I think they're from North Carolina. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I can't remember their names. Super nice couple.
Yeah.
They come through. They travel all over the country during haunt season.
Wow.
And go to different haunted attractions. I'm like, I wish I could do that. That'd be so much fun.
Yeah.
But he came here one year. He goes, he calls me up. I want to talk to the manager. So I get called up to the front. I'm just like, so I go up and I'm like, what's going on? They're just like, point over there. I'm like, hey, sir, how can I help you? And he's like, are you the manager? I'm like, yeah, they go, we had this is our favorite haunted house that we've been to. And I was just like, oh, thanks, man. And I was like, where are you guys from? North Carolina. I was like, oh, well, what are you doing up here? We came up for the haunt. And I was just like, you did? And they're like, yeah, we heard about it. We went to, they went to like Pennsylvania, and they'd been to, I think one of the ones in Chicago, and they were just like hitting, and they're like, this was the best one we've been to. And I was like, thanks.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? You're like, okay, well, they come back like every year. Now, last year I didn't see them.
Yeah.
And they always call me up to the front.
Yeah.
Because they want to talk to me.
Yeah.
And, they're just like, I can't believe this is new. You did this. And then you get that one jackass that like hates everything.
Yeah.
It's like, how the hell do you do that?
Yeah.
I get
when it gets pulled along.
Just like, oh, come on, man. Help me out here.
I had a guy, he put his finger on my chest.
And
he's just like, he was definitely intoxicated, but he was like, that was not scary at all. And I'm like, all right, man, like, calm down. Like some 70-year-old man, like, calm down, man.
Jeez.
And
there's always those guys that just
like
whatever. I had this one guy. This is the year we got Haunt of the Year. We got Haunt of the Year in 2019,
awesome.
right?
Yeah, congrats.
Like Ohio Valley Haunts, Haunt of the Year.
That's awesome.
Whatever. It is what it is. It was cool. It was great. We had a great year.
Yeah.
This year, right? We were getting such good reviews. This guy calls me out front. I go out front. He was like, I want a refund. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, did you go through? He's like, yeah. I was like, no refund. Sorry. And he's just like, why? I thought it was horrible. And I was just like, well, I'm sorry you felt that way, but it's like you went through the attraction. Yeah. It is what it is. Well, he goes, well, I want my money back. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not giving your money back, man. I really don't know what to tell you. And he's just like, and as he's talking to me, he's getting closer and he keeps like taking a step. And I'm like, listen, I'm an old man now. Those days are over for me. Okay.
Definitely, yeah.
But it's like, you're not going to intimidate me. I'm sorry, dude. It's not going to happen. You're really barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah.
And he kept getting closer. Well, I didn't know, but my one security guard had walked up behind me, and he kind of like, was like, all right. He kind of knew he was outnumbered, and then he was just like, okay, fine. And then my security guy said, time for you to go. Get out of here. And I was like, oh, hey, man.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I'm leaving a bad review on Google. And I'm just like, okay, dude,
we'll
fine.
bury the review.
Leave your bad review. Go ahead.
The good reviews will bury it.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, man, come on.
Yeah, a lot of people, I think, don't understand how much love, like blood, sweat, and tears go into this stuff.
Sure.
Like a whole year, right? Like
they don't get it.
They don't get it.
Yeah.
And even though you don't do as much updates, that's a whole year of planning, figuring it out, building, distressing, doing everything.
Yep.
And when they say it hurts, it actually does. I hate when there's a bad review. It's just like, oh my gosh, like you just want to type up a response, be like, this took a whole year. It's like daily, like late nights. Yeah. And you know what I mean? Like we found, it just hurts a lot.
It does.
Because you're like, you put a lot of effort, and this place is huge, right? That you got, and I would say it would hurt. If someone said that, I'd be like, oh man, like we really, this is. Yeah.
Well, and you also got to remember too, it's like, well, you don't want to get because like there's parts where I just want to get really vindictive and be like, sorry, man, I'm going to come to Walmart and review you because I know you just wear a name tag on your shirt, you prick. Yeah. You know what I mean? And but I don't do that.
No,
you know what I mean? I want to.
Yeah. I always look at their reviews, their past reviews.
Yeah.
And they're always one star.
They're always just bitching at everything, just like,
I know the guy.
You're that miserable bastard in the group of friends. Gotcha. You're the one that complains at the restaurant and gets spit in your food. Yeah. So now I know why. Yeah. Yeah. So speaking of reviewers, like, do you let reviewers come through your haunt?
Not local ones. I would say because there's always the people that are like, I want free tickets. Right?
Yeah, they always want free tickets. Yeah.
So I there's a name that my father calls me, and like my family calls me. Yeah. And when he talks about me, he says this name to people. And a lot of these people like that are reviewers, right? Yeah. They would use that name. And I'd be like, yo, you don't know me. You don't know my family. And they just like, hey, they expect free tickets. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not mean or anything. I'm just like, this is a lot of work that we put into this. Yeah. And like, I've never seen your review of us before, this and that. But like bigger guys, I do. I think Sean, he came this year. I think he's the Haunt General. Haunt General, yeah. He came through, and I did not know, and I I mean, I read his reviews, and his reviews are very detailed and they're great. You know what I mean? It doesn't tear him apart. But I let him in. Actually, I think he paid, and then I realized who he was, and I was like, oh, man, like, sorry about that. Like, I can't, I was just doing a million things at once. But I had a few times. It just depends who it is, honestly. I do, because I pay when I go to all the other attractions in the area.
Sure.
If I were to come here, I would pay.
Right.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Because I know that my $30, what that pays for, right?
Yeah.
And I know that, and I get reviewers. They travel and all that, but I just, I'm all for, hey, support us. We're a small business.
Yeah.
We are literally, we're using this money to improve our attractions. So when someone goes, hey, I need 7 free tickets, I'm like, I don't even give my family 7 free tickets.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it depends who it is, and kind of like, okay, they have a good following, and I would love to hear their opinion, because sometimes they make stuff up, and it's like, you're like, that was not my attraction.
Right.
You know, and it's weird,
Have you ever had someone come to your attraction with tickets to another attraction and be like, hey, man, and then your ticket scanners call you going, yeah, like the haunted attraction in 2 towns over, and they're trying to get in. It's like,
never happened with me, but definitely I would be like, yeah, come on in, I'll take them.
I did that last year. I had so many people. It was like 5 times I got called out, and I'm just like, are you serious right now?
Yeah.
And I go out and I'm like, what's going on? They're like, well, we bought tickets for here, but this. I'm like, you did not buy tickets for here.
Yeah.
That is not art. That's not.
Now, do you let reviewers in?
There's 2 groups that I let in.
Okay.
That but they bring sometimes just one guy.
Yeah.
And other times maybe 2.
Yeah.
2 people. I'll be like, okay, sure. And I know them not because they're going to give me like a good review and I expect it. They're good about like being honest.
Yeah. That's what I want.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it does help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there's the ones like you say that come, like I had this one lady, I'll never forget it. One lady said, I just flew into Ohio just to come to your haunt. And I was like, oh, cool. Like called me out front. This is like 3rd, 4th week. Yeah. Calls me out front. I'm like, what's going on? Well, we flew in from LA. And I was just like, okay. And they're just like, we want to review your haunt. We were just at Netherworld. I'm like, oh, great. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's what I want to hear. You came from Netherworld to here. Sure, okay. We went to Netherworld. Now we're coming to you. And we want to review your haunt. And I'm just like, sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the ticket line's right there. Oh, well, do we have to pay? I'm just like, I don't know who you are, lady.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, I work for so-and-so magazine out of LA.
Yeah.
Dude, come on. That doesn't mean nothing to me.
And that's,
you know what I mean?
And that's what I was saying. Like, they called me, like, my name, my dad, my family calls me is Cody, right?
Yeah.
But I'm Dakota. That's what I go by. So when I hear Cody, I'm like, oh, my dad told me my name was Cody, right? And they go, hey, is Cody there on the microphone? Like, they're like, hey, Dakota, they're calling you. And they ask for Cody. And I'm like, I don't know you. I don't know who you are.
Right.
Like, why are you calling me that? And, oh, yeah, I got my whole family in the minivan. And I'm like, no, support us, like support us so we can continue doing this, know? That's
they don't get that. It's like, oh, you can let us go. Now, like, I'll go out once in a while for a general admission line.
Yeah.
They bought tickets, gentlemen. I'll go out if it's like a heavy night.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, man.
Yeah, come on.
Come here. I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
And they're just like, what? Come here.
Yeah.
And they get out and I'm like, I'm going to upgrade you for free.
Yeah.
And they're just like, really? And I'll go out and do that once in a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just to, I don't know, just to be cool about it.
Yeah.
But like, some people that expect.
Yeah.
They expect you to like, we're reviewers.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't care.
Yeah. I would do it. I would do it for actors of other attractions though. Mm-hmm. I really would. I would like Fright World in our area. If they were to contact us and be like, hey, some free tickets to come out, I'd be like, yeah, here, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Come out because you're supporting the other actors here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and I get that. And I think like, but like, reviews, I don't know who you are. You know what I mean? You're not really in our industry as much. You know what I mean? Like,
well, they're coming out of the woodwork too. I mean, they really are.
They're all coming up with different names.
Oh yeah.
I'm the pumpkin reviewer.
Yeah. It's just like, we're the pumpkin thrash review team. I'm just like, the what? So you look them up on YouTube. It's like, oh, you got 4 followers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I can't remember the one on YouTube. Oh God, I was talking about this the last time too. We were talking about reviewers. God, I got to figure that out. Who the hell it is? It's like they always have like the Book of the Dead on their video. Like they always show the Book of the Dead, and They do such a thorough review of your haunt.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the only one. I mean, not the only ones, but like, I just feel that they get it.
Yeah.
They really understand what you're doing. God damn it. We're going to have to pop that in somewhere.
Yeah.
Like when we post this one, Aaron, just so you know. But I want to, because they're great.
That's great.
When they call me up and they pay for their tickets, they always they don't say, can we come up? They're like, we're going to be here on this night.
Yeah.
We got VIP, we're fast pass. All right, cool.
I think the good ones, honestly, they don't ask for free tickets, like Sean, he just paid, you know what I mean?
I didn't even know when he came here. I didn't even know he was coming. He just like reached out later and was like, hey, I came through. It was great. I was like, oh, sweet. Thanks,
cool.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super cool.
But the ones that I do know are coming, I'm always just like, oh, you're here? Okay. We got viewers. Get ready. I'm going to send them in. They're wearing orange hoodies.
All right. Get the backup, get everyone in there.
Let's knock it out of the park. So for you, Halloween, let's say as a kid.
Yeah.
What was your Halloween routine growing up? Trick-or-treating? Did you like to dress up a lot? Horror movies?
I get scared pretty easy.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm the jumper, and all my actors can tell you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very easy to scare.
Okay.
I get scared walking through my attractions. From little
things. What's going to happen, man.
That's the worst part. I know exactly where everything's coming from, and I still get scared. I think this year we have like a door maze part where it's like, like your old school kind of, like I think we have around like 50 doors, and it's just like you're just going, you're trying to get through it. So every 4 feet is 4 doors. So it's like
That's
4,
cool.
4, 4, 4, and you gotta find your path out. And it's like a throbbing red light, like a heartbeat kind of thing. And we wanted to do that old school kind of vibe.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I was doing it this year, and I got terrified, and because I was like, I forgot where the actor comes from.
Yeah.
And they came out, and I'm like, I was holding on to my fiance, who's 100 pounds.
Yeah.
And shaking her.
She's just like, you're ragdolling.
And she's like, you go through this all the time, and you get scared. And I think, when I was a kid, I never did scary movies. I never did any of that.
No?
I did the scaring. I think that was probably working at the little, that haunted house I was talking about earlier, jumping out of a bush, go, ooh, and I would definitely, I would steal the candy my mom was handing out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was more into just, like I said, making, leaf stuffed dummies and all that stuff, the great stuffed blood.
Yeah.
And guts, and that was my childhood. It wasn't, and I don't know where that came from, honestly. Like, it was just happened,
So do you have a favorite horror movie?
Yeah, I would say Scream, honestly. Is my
wow.
I know. That's super original, along with cheese and bacon.
One of those. One of those guys in here.
Honestly, I love Scream.
Did you like the new one?
No, I mean, it's okay. I'm like the OG one. I just love all the lines in it, right? It's like, oh, my mom and dad are gonna be so mad at me. Like, I love that scene.
Yeah.
I love Evil Dead 2 is like a
there
big
you
top
go.
one
There
for
you
me,
go.
Right?
Now you're talking.
Like, Evil Dead 2 is definitely, and I know a lot of people probably think Evil Dead 1's better, but Evil Dead 2 is like
they're all good.
A step up.
Yeah.
And it just the storyline with the whole hand and it's just amazing. And I watched that for the first time this summer, right? And that's kind of weird, right? So I'm not like I try my fiance, she's into it. Like her horror movies, Evil Dead, so that's what she got me into. But I never was really into it, and I like the old school slasher, that's my thing,
Did you watch Army of Darkness?
I have not yet.
You got to watch that.
I know. Everyone says that's awesome.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So good.
See, I love, because I'm an art director, right? So I like to look at like shots from a film.
Yeah.
And there's so many memorable scenes from movies that I love, like Halloween, right? The scene where he's in the bushes, right?
Yeah.
It's just a scary scene where they're walking down the street and he's all the way down at the end.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that is what I love about horror, not necessarily getting scared. I don't shake in my pants watching Halloween.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? I just I just never was into huge horror, and I'm trying to do it. I think it's just more, the horror side's more, for me, is the set design, and I just love that vibe. I love the visual idea of it. Yeah. Not getting scared.
Well, seeing some of those movies too will like get the juices flowing too. Just like watching exactly,
Yeah.
what you're seeing in the movie, like the setting that they're in.
Yeah.
Like our house upstairs. I mean, first thing we thought, well, okay, Texas Chainsaw Mansion.
Yeah.
The house at Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what we're going for originally. That was the original idea.
Yeah.
Not necessarily Leatherface. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But everybody's got a chainsaw in their attraction.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. But maybe one day I'll get into it. I think for October we try, like, even though I'm at the haunt a lot, we try to like watch a movie a day, you know, and sometimes I fall asleep or I'm just like, it's scary because I hate alien movies. Like, I believe in aliens.
You just said you just said aliens were cool earlier.
No, they're cool. No, I mean I hate because I'm scared. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Signs, right? Like the scene when it walks across the camera. It's like terrifying to me. I know. It's super weird, right? Like,
what do you think about illegal aliens? You scared of them?
It's,
I knew a few of those.
It's it's like definitely like but like it's like. Scary movies. I don't know. I don't like to jump, and, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird, right?
We'll break you in, man.
We'll
break you. You're like, what's your favorite scary movie? Well, Scream. I'm like, oh, shit. Here we go.
This loser.
At least he didn't say, what was a vampire movie, some shitty vampire movie.
Oh, Twilight?
Twilight, yeah. At least you didn't say that, So you're good there.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, man. Well, listen, I know you got a little trek to get home back to Niagara Falls or Buffalo. You live in Buffalo?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming down, man.
Yeah, thank you.
And thanks for your off-screen guest here. You guys were great, and we'll have you'll have to come back, and I'd love to have you down for the show. I'd love to come up and check out your show.
Yeah.
When do you open?
We open, I think, is it that Saturday, the 22nd of September?
Yeah.
I want to say. Last year was 21st. So we decided to get rid of Friday. We're going to open Saturday and just do a big 4-hour show.
Hell yeah.
Just kind of kick it off the season. And then, we're all the way till, I love that Halloween is on a Thursday. Because you can run the show Thursday, Friday full. You don't have to change it.
Yeah.
Like, because people do blackout, but it's a week after and it's dead.
I never do that.
It's dead. It's not worth it. But I'm super excited. I mean, it's going to be a great season.
Hell yeah. Well, if we can make it up, I'd love to come up. We don't open until the week after that.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? But it's just tough. But like maybe an off-season show. We'll have to try and like coordinate. Maybe I can get up to. I don't know if I want to come to Buffalo for Christmas, but definitely Valentine. Oh yeah, I don't need that. But it was good having you guys here, man.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thanks for coming down, and I hope you guys have a great season.
Thank you.
And have fun, man. Have fun in Buffalo.
Thanks, man.
Go Bills.
Yeah, go Bills.
All right, man. Thanks.